Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays for this Week 18 NFL DraftKings main slate. Let's dive right into it. And like I always do here in these videos, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of my cheat sheet, breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays here for this Week 18 NFL DraftKings main slate. But as always, everyone, want to remind you and highly recommend joining my Discord channel. It is completely free to do. You can see it mentioned above, especially on a week like this where there's so much uncertainty heading into this Sunday main slate. For example, we don't even know if the Chargers are going to start their starters this weekend, because if Pittsburgh wins here on Saturday, they really don't need to do that on Sunday. But if the Steelers lose here on Saturday, we're likely going to see the Chargers play their starters trying to get that number 5 seed. So there's a lot of things that really kind of weigh on this Saturday slate. So again, join the Discord channel, completely free to do. There's a link to do so in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. But I'll be providing updates like that on Sunday morning. With that being said, let's dive into the cheat sheet here. This is how I like the plays on Friday as I record this. Kicking it off here at the quarterback position. Look, if we're looking to spend up here this week, it makes sense to go with Baker Mayfield. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this week at home against the New Orleans Saints, they're in the playoffs. Simple as that. So they have everything to play for here this week. We're going to see their starters play the full game, assuming the game doesn't get out of hand. If they have a huge lead heading into the fourth quarter, then maybe at that point we see them sit some of their starters, but by then they probably met value. So if we're spending up this week, it makes sense to go with Baker Mayfield. Now, Geno Smith here, the Seahawks really don't have anything to play for when it comes to the playoffs. As a matter of fact, they're eliminated. But two things here. If Geno throws for over 186 passing yards, $2 million bonus. If they win this game and get 10 wins on the season, another $2 million bonus. This guy has $4 million worth of bonuses to play for, so he's absolutely going to play the full game. $5,500. I like the matchup against the Rams too, who are going to be playing their backups. And then Joshua Dobbs, probably going to be the most popular quarterback heading into this Week 18 main slate. He's the cheapest you can spend on a quarterback at $4,000. He's going to be the starter for the 49ers. I'll like him a lot more if we do get word that the 49ers are going to play their starters, guys like George Kittle, Jawan Jennings. That obviously boosts Joshua Dobbs. And then Bo Nix does have something to play for here, $6,400, probably a little too rich for my blood, but I really do like him in tournaments. Now, moving on to the running backs, and this is probably the hardest position to lock down when it comes to your cash lineup here for Week 18, with the wide receivers being a close second. There were a couple of other guys I could have added to this spreadsheet as well, guys like Isaac Guerendo of the 49ers, Rico Dowdle of the Dallas Cowboys. They will be on my tournament spreadsheet. I'll post that thumbnail here right now. For those of you who aren't aware, I do post a tournament video after this cash plays video on Friday too, so check that out. But Bijan Robinson here of Atlanta is probably as close of a lock as it gets to the running back position here for Week 18. Atlanta does need Tampa Bay to lose here in order for them to make playoffs, and Atlanta needs to win themselves, but they're going to be playing their starters, and they're in a smash spot here against the Carolina Panthers. Bucky Irving, really the same song and dance there with Bijan. Tampa needs to win in this game, in a good spot there against New Orleans. Michael Carter, one of the more interesting plays here, and a really cheap play at that at $4,700 for a guy who's probably going to get bell cow work in this game against the 49ers. We have no James Conner, no Trey Benson. He is going to be the starter for the Cardinals here this week. And then Blake Corum, Sean McVay is saying that he's going to get a full workload here against Seattle. The coach speak for McVay can be hit or miss, so I have him as an honorable mention right now, and same thing here with Will Shipley. He's going to be the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles this week. I don't think Gainwell's going to play much. He's kind of the RB2. They want to keep him healthy, along with Saquon going into the playoffs. So Will Shipley, $4,600. I think he's interesting as well, but again, we're talking about backup running backs who haven't seen the field much this year. So they're honorable mentions, but again, a reason to check in on Sunday morning when I finalize my cash cheat sheet. Now, folks, before we dive into some of these wide receiver plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. It's completely free to do, and every like, comment, and sub that you guys leave here on this channel truly does help me out. And for you golf fans out there, I do run a YouTube golf channel as well with some of my best friends called Mulligan Masters Golf. It's more on the entertainment side of things, but if you could subscribe to this, check it out, I would really appreciate that. I'll link this in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. We just dropped a new series with a Division I golfer and a PGA pro. You can see that here off to the left-hand side. They finished a combined -5. Really good match there. So again, if you could check it out, I'd really appreciate it. All right, now diving into the wide receivers here, talked about it with Baker, talked about it with Bucky. Outside of the Buccaneers having to win this game to make the playoffs, Mike Evans also has incentives to hit 1,000 receiving yards for the 11th or 12th straight season, and he also has some additional bonuses that come with it. So the number one goal for a guy like Mike Evans is to win this game and get in the playoffs, but he's the number one pass catcher. Baker's going to target him a bunch in this game, and again, the incentives are just a bonus in my opinion. Brian Thomas Jr. has now seen double-digit targets in 5 straight games, and I love that matchup there against the Indianapolis Colts. Jackson Smith and Jigba, kind of the same, theory here with Geno Smith. He doesn't have anything to play for himself, but he's going to want to get his guy that $4 million in bonuses. Michael Pittman Jr. here, it looks like Anthony Richardson is not going to start here on Sunday, so we get Joe Flacco. I could have put Josh Downs here as well. I think he's fine, but Pittman Jr. was really good last week against the Giants with Flacco under center, so he was the guy that I went with. Drake London, just like Bijan Robinson, has something to play for here this week. Again, they need the Buccaneers to lose, but Atlanta's going to play their starters trying to win this game here, and Drake London has seen a 28% first read share with Michael Penix under center, and then Cortland Sutton there. He's the number one pass catcher in this offense for the Broncos. I'd be shocked if he doesn't see A-plus targets in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are likely going to be playing their backups, and again, the Broncos need to win here if they want to make playoffs. And then I got a few tight ends there for you. Really don't foresee myself spending up at this position when it comes to my cash lineup this week. Brock Bowers is probably fine. You could probably make a case for Trey McBride too, but honestly, I'm probably just going to spend down here. Every lineup that I've built so far this week has me spending down at this position. I like Zach Ertz here, the Washington Commanders, because he can get a $250,000 bonus for 9+ catches, 90+ receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. A $250,000 bonus for each of those statistics there. Chigo Okonkwo has been really good here as of late. He is questionable heading into Sunday, but I suspect that he'll play. He's kind of found his groove here as of late with Mason Rudolph under center. And then if you're really looking to pump this position, Peyton Hendershot of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, Carson Wentz starting under center here, so keep that in mind, but he is the bare minimum at $2,500. So if he gets you, 5 points in this game? You're probably sitting all right with him. And then when it comes to the defenses here this week, I would really like to get to the Denver Broncos. They're a pretty talented bunch for starters playing at home. And again, they need to win here to make playoffs. Essentially taking on the Kansas City Chiefs backups. Again, Carson Wentz going to be starting at the quarterback position. So if I can get to them, I would really prefer that. If I need to save some money here, I don't mind the Giants. Essentially taking on the backups for the Philadelphia Eagles. Seahawks here I think are fine at $2,900. Again, basically taking on the backups for the LA Rams. And then you got the Texans there at $2,800. I thought that was just a little too cheap, taking on the Titans this week. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great weekend here, folks, and let's win some money on this Week 18 main slate.